Alright, well, as you may or may not have noticed, I'm trying to put out a video every day to keep awareness going in the Mmtlp scandalous, naked share, fraudulent event that's been going on for well over 60 days now. Finra is blaming SEC, SEC's blaming Finra, and the saga goes on and on. And I noticed that Tony from Market Moves, he's got, he just posted a video, like 12, 13 hours ago, and it's only got 1,700 views. Guys, you can go in there and start hitting like on everyone's comments, and that actually helps boost up the video too. I recommend that you do that. Plus, we spread the message any way we can spread the message. We want our payday. We want our 2 days back, our 2 days of the market, so that the shorts can cover their positions. I think there's some shorts out there that want to cover their positions too. I'm sure there's some hedge funds that are willing to kick that can down the road forever, but we want our money. And here, I'm going to play a little bit of Tony's video on my video, because again, any way that we can push this out, let's push this out. I don't know what the deal is with the copyright stuff. If Tony wants to hit me up and claim my video, that's fine anyway. I haven't been monetized in a year or two. I'm not doing any of this for money. I mean, I am doing my investment for money. I want my money. But I'm not trying to do any of this YouTube stuff for fortune and fame, although it would be nice. But the whole point of it is, let's get the market back open here, and we'll worry about monetizations and you see my pretty little face on a daily basis sometime after we get this thing up and running. But in the meantime, who claims what or who gets credit for what, I give a crap. I just need this information to get out. So hit like, make a comment, hit like on your own comment, hit like on everyone else's comment. Let's do whatever it takes to spread this message. And here, let's listen to a little bit about Tony's latest thing here.
Deleted, as there has not yet been a D1 issuance to delete the symbol.
And
that Finra
let's see, we can zoom.
The meaning of deletion and provides false information regarding the status of the symbol. Essentially, Finra has been lying to you, Mr. Judge. Finra was aware of the outstanding short positions, the failures to deliver, and was in charge of the ex-dividend and effective dates that they acted to shield parties holding short positions and investment conglomerates, such as their $1.4 billion investment assets at the expense of the plaintiff, meaning Rosa, and shareholders of Mmtlp. Finra was aware of all this, and they were acting in their interest as a private company. They were not necessarily acting as a regulator, trying to do the right thing. They were trying to make money, which they are not shielded from lawsuits as a result of that. Okay.
And this is the important part I was catching.
So we've been talking about this guy Cromwell Coulson a bit.
Now, most of us have heard this, but I like the way that Tony presents this. He's a great presenter. I just wish he would stop smacking his lips. I'm sure somebody's mentioned this to him before. Maybe have a glass of water before. Okay, I'm being a dick. I got a lot of flaws myself, and we're all doing our thing here, as I always put it.
If we look at his Twitter, homepage, we can see that he is a CEO of OTC Markets Group, and there's a nice little link so you can actually go there. And he's in New York, and he's got a nice web link, OTC Markets, so you can see what he's all about. So the main tweet that he has made is this guy on February 6th. He says, the ongoing question is how do short position holders resolve their liability for NextBridge common stock if it's not easily transferable or tradable publicly? He says, I have no control or input on that. It would be easier if NextBridge shares became publicly tradable. So that's very interesting that he said that. To which John Berta replies, the answer would be that they knew 6 months ahead of time that the shares were going to be halted and that NextBridge Hydrocarbons would be private. The better question is not how do short position holders resolve their liability. The better question is why they felt so comfortable holding a short position so late in the game. Who knew? Who was talking to FINRA? How large is this short? Okay, basically they knew for 6 months and they didn't close their short position. So, the fact that they're stuck now, that's their own damn fault. Okay,
Anyone that was paying attention knows that last 2 days that the shorts were, well, the last 2 days before we got our 2 days, before the U3 halt, they shorted it down to nothing. They all knew something. There was a message spread. They all had each other on speed dial, and they all said, hey, let's short it all. We're never going to have to pay this back.
And that's Finra's own damn fault, and they got to get out of it. So how large is this short position? To which Mama K responds, the brokers SEC and Finra did know at least in September. And she says, I changed my account from margin to cash, and this was my maintenance goal, 10,000 shares, for not allowing my broker to lend my shares. It was programmed in the computer early September. They all worked together to plan this. Thank you, Mama K, for tweeting this. This is what I mentioned earlier. They all worked
together. It was so obvious.
Eventually, she shows this screenshot of the fact that she got a margin call for $750,000. Okay, but she had about 10,000 shares of stock symbol Mmtlp, and as we can see, there was John Berta was asking which firm, the dates and all that, and what's going on, and I got in there and I even asked what's going on, and she sent me some IMs. I talked with her through direct messaging. I also talked to Bird Lady Roller Pigeons about it because apparently she had talked to Roller Pigeons earlier. So, this is my take on what happened. There was a margin call for $750,000. 10,000 shares of Mmtlp, it's about $75,000. That's about $75 per share. How is this possible? Well, I think that the margin call was a mistake on TD's part, right?
Agreed.
So Mama K converted her account from a margin account to a cash account. And she wasn't using margin at all, but the account was a margin account, right? So she didn't have margin, but she converts from a margin account to a cash account, okay? Not using the margin. So when she bought the shares were bought under a margin account. TD was likely the short behind Mmtlp for her buy, right? That means that TD had not yet purchased the shares, and TD itself was the other side of the trade. So they were the market maker and the short, okay? And they probably still had not purchased the shares yet as of September.
Nope.
And their risk management team had to put a number on how much risk Mmtlp was.
$77.39.
Something like $75 a share, probably. Right? TD's risk management team said, hey, it's probably worth about $75 a share. Now, likely what happened is that when they converted from the margin account to the cash account, a flag went off somewhere. And TD was supposed to do an actual buy or come up with $750K to cover their own risk, because that's how much the shares are.
I'm sorry, was I talking over that? Let's go ahead and rewind that part. Say that
somewhere. And TD was supposed to do an actual buy or come up with $750K to cover their own risk, because that's how much the shares are, right?
Yep.
And the account team probably, they probably got their wires crossed, and they thought, oh, Mama K's got to come up with $750K. No. It was TD that was supposed to come up with $750K or the shares in order to cover their risk.
They didn't have the shares.
Naturally, Mama K got very upset about it, and on around September 19th or so, she wound up talking to Roller Pigeons. And I happened to speak to Mama K, and I confirmed that she was. So I confirmed that she was also talking to Roller Pigeons at that time, because Roller Pigeons was.
All right, we got the point on that. Let's go to a different point right here. Cromwell.
So Cromwell Coulson says it would be easier if NextBridge became publicly tradable.
All right, go back a little there. This Cromwell thing, we've all heard about it for days. This isn't for you if you know what's going on with this. This is for those that don't know it. This is the point of sharing, liking, and passing the message on. This is the shady stuff that's going on in the market right now, and it's ridiculous.
So I think this tweet is the key, and I think it would be easier. So Cromwell Coulson says it would be easier if NextBridge became publicly tradable. So I think this is what they secretly want, right?
Easier for who? Not the retail market. Not the people invested in Mmtlp. What, they want to be able to short it again? Into oblivion? I mean, did anyone see what happened to GNS over the last few days? I mean, even with the $10 coupon that's out there?
They want NextBridge hydrocarbons to become publicly tradable. And but the question is, why would NextBridge hydrocarbons want to be publicly tradable? They spent 6 months to go private, finding out all the paperwork with the SEC. They spent a ton of money to go private. Why would NextBridge want it, right? Do we know why the shorts want it? Because they want to they want to get out of their massive short position, or they want to continue to keep shorting it forever. But why should an expert hydrocarbons want to be public, right? So anyway, Cromwell Coulson and his crew, they must know of a massive short position, is what I'm thinking. And they know that if they try to close it, it would cause a massive price increase, right? So, because basically there's more shorts out there than there are shares of people willing to buy, right? So,
some of us believe almost 1 billion naked shares out there. Even if you go with the low estimates of 350 to 500 million naked shares, that would push the price of this being well worth over $1,000 a share.
So we know shorts are the people who sold the shares prior to purchasing, so they owe a debt of shares, and they hope to purchase shares later at a lower price, right? That is the whole game of shorts.
Stop smacking your lips.
Cromwell Coulson knows something. He's tweeted about it, and now we know that he knows, and we know that there's a massive short position, or we can guess pretty much that there's a massive short position.
Oh, we know.
But anyway, Cromwell Coulson.
I like this one.
Bristol Type 6 for tweeting this.
I saw this
tweet.
tweet.
Cromwell Coulson says to the SEC, help at sec.gov. It says Cromwell Coulson publicly confirmed there are open short positions on Mmtlp, which traded on his OTC market. And he says Finra Ombudsman Representative Mr. Chase confirmed that he'd seen Cromwell Coulson,
which on a private company, a private share, a private investment is illegal.
Statement. So
there shouldn't be any open shares. But we all knew this, and we were all telling this to Finra. We've been telling this to SEC. We've been telling this to everyone that will listen to us. But yet, apparently, not enough people have heard our message.
But Finra has no new information or instructions, and Finra says
go over
they
to
need
Tony's
from the SEC before they can and will act.
Go over to Tony's YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't
email
yet.
to help.sec.gov.
Tony at Market.
So now the SEC knows about it. Question
Just
is,
ignore all that lip smacking.
Now, he also happened to tweet about this. Thank you, Bristol Type 6. OTC Market President confirms open shorts. Finra is aware of the President's confirmation. They have no instructions and will not act until
SEC, Division of Enforcement, area code 202-551-4500. So don't be afraid to tweet yourself, hashtag Mmtlp. They know what that's about. When you see something, a tweet from Finra, go ahead and let them know how you feel.
Told to by the SEC. The SEC Gov should instruct, and this is tweeted at SEC Gov. Okay, and if you want, he provides a phone number for the SEC as well, too.
I don't know about you, but it's been over 60 days, 62, 63, 64 days. I don't know. It's been over 2 months. I want my money. I've got things I want to do here. I don't know who you're protecting, but the longer this goes on, Finra, SEC, whoever wants to make the choice here, the longer this goes on, the more people you're pissing off, and the more people we're going to be spreading this message to, and the more public awareness is going to be on this. And before this is through, Finra, you're going to be shut down. So, I don't think the people at the top care, though. The one guy, that OTC guy there, he makes $250,000 a month. Because remember, Finra is a private company. They can make profit, but yet they also are a regulator where they can make decisions and they get to make the rules. This whole system is backwards. All right, there's just a little bit more on this, and then we're going to end this. But this is important information to not only listen to, and if you know the story, it's a great way that it's presented, but in addition to listening to it, share it. Share it on Facebook. Share it on YouTube. Share it. Let people know. Send it to everyone that you know. We all know people that are little producers on Fox or CBS or NBC. They're not running this story for a reason. Right? The politicians ain't talking about it for a reason. But we're going to have to shove their face in this. Kind of like when you're trying to correct the behavior of a dog. Well, actually, you shouldn't really shove their face in shit. But from an extreme standpoint, I think our politicians need a little bit of that. All right, let's finish this up here. Let me hit my Zoom thing again. Try to remember when to hit Zoom, when to not. Remember, I'm all one shot. They call me One Shot Johnny. Yeah, right? No one calls me that.
And finally, in the last tweet about this, he also tweets SEC Investor Ed and SEC Gov, and he says, Finra ombudsman have just told me that yes, they have reviewed the tweets by the SEC, by the OTC president confirming the existence of open shorts, but they have not been given any further instruction.
Finra can't pretend like they don't know this is going on anymore. They are literally getting thousands and thousands and thousands of replies on their tweets that they're making, and all of them replies are about Mmtlp, the fraud, and what's going on, and when are we going to open the market back up? It's time. Let's open up the market.
Or information. So the ball's in the SEC's court, according to Finra. So SEC, the ball is in your court. Are you going to do anything? We'll see. So, Finra has been tweeting lately, and they started tweeting on February 3rd, right? Finra tweets about smart beta. Nobody cares what they tweet about. They have 1,003 responses at the time that I took the screenshot, and if we look at one of the responses, it's from John Berta, who said, look at the army of MMTLP replies on look at the army of MMTLP.
For anyone knocking John Berta, remember, he left MMAT so that he could be in this fight, so that there wouldn't be a conflict of interest. All right? The man is doing what he can from his side, but you need to do what you can do from your side. I need to do what I need to do what I need to do. Tony needs to do what he needs to do. We all need to freaking... we need to make sure that our politicians understand this. We need to make sure that Finra understands that we know that they can't pretend like they don't, like it's just a couple little people now mentioning it to them, and they didn't even know what was going on. The time for playing stupid is over.
These replies march on. I agree. Here's a sampling of the MMTLP replies. Liz Hoffman has one of the best responses. These are what I see as the best responses. But anyway, Liz Hoffman says, "Hey, what I want to know is when will you lift the youth recall and give me back my 2 trading days? You should be ashamed of yourselves. You are not elite. You are criminals. Hope karma finds you sooner than later. Do your job and protect retail." Right? That's Finra's supposed job, is to protect retail. Okay. I Am Wedge also says, MMTLP is a bullseye in your back, Finra. You can think of MMTLP investors as the ones who will not be going away anytime soon.
Nope.
You may think you're above the law with your absolute immunity, but the law is a law. Ignorance is no excuse. We will have our day. Okay?
No one's above the law.
I will not be going over every response, but these are the top ones that I saw. I responded as well too, but there's a ton of responses here going on. Finally, KCAP has this response, which I thought was really cool. She says, that's how much I've invested in the stock market since MMTLP Youth Recalled on December 9th, 2022. 0. I will not invest any additional money until the situation is resolved. 0. No more counterfeit shares. Okay? Because Finra has created fraudulent counterfeit shares by their actions.
And it goes on and on and on, and it never ends. I had a couple $100 in there that I worked up to almost $1,000, but it's back down to like $700 now because, as y'all notice, the shorts and the hedge funds are right back at it again, and they're doing it to GNS. Has anyone noticed the price keeps getting knocked down? Great time to get in, because at some point it's going to raise back up unless the shorts keep knocking it back down, but with the $10 coupon out, I'm sorry, what was that? It's a $10 NTF or NFT, coupon that's out there. That's going to go up. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Let's turn off that light. All right, main thing here is we need to keep the message going. We need to keep the movement going. We need everyone to know what's going on here. So don't be afraid to tell a friend. Don't be afraid to share. Don't be afraid to like. Don't be afraid to comment. Don't be afraid to go down and like everybody else's comments, because that works. One of my listeners was doing that just the other day with me, and I noticed I got a bunch of other likes, which helped get more views out there. I mean, right now, Tony's video only has 1,700 views. That was my concern. You know, if I can get a few hundred more views on that and send a few more people over to listen to Tony, awesome. You know, and then as y'all know, the stuff that Terry Yonkers is doing is absolutely great. He's going over a lot of the information that's going on out there too. He's another great channel to subscribe to and to listen to. I'm going to try and keep really up to date, up to the moment. The second the market opens up, you're going to hear from me, and you're probably going to hear from me several times during that day. Do not panic sell, as I've been saying right along, and let's all stay together on this. We're all in this fight together. And, you know, hashtag Finra fraud, hashtag Occupy SEC 23. Let's keep the fight alive. Let's get our payday. Thank you.